Let's look at what Tesla has done today. Let's observe the tug of war between the buyers and sellers of Tesla in order to make money. So Tesla is down $8.12. That's 3.69%. Closed at 211.99. Isn't that interesting? Post-market, we are up by 9 cents. So let's look at what we have here on the chart. So yesterday, we had the big drop down in part because of the earnings call, which was pretty strange to listen. But this is Elon. He is an engineer. He's not a salesman. He's not a spin doctor. He expresses how he feels, and he did not feel that good. Right now, so we had the big drop down yesterday, and we have a little bit of a drop down also today. We have stopped just a little bit below the support that we were following, the support at 212.28. Why 212.28? This is the number that the sellers were using in February 28th of this year. Support and resistance last a long time. This is also a support that was used on August 18th, right here. August 18th, we had that bounce on that support. So now the big question, is it going to bounce or not? We did not have the answer today. I hoped we would get it, but we did not get it. So we don't know what is going to happen, and nobody knows. Nobody knows if we are going to bounce on 212.28 on Monday. If it starts to bounce, then we will notice that it's bouncing, and then we can take appropriate actions. And if it goes through 212.28, then we can also take appropriate actions. But this is what we do on this channel. We find the important milestones for the stock. And when those milestones are broken, then we can decide to take position or not, depending on some other factors. Let's take a look at the 1 hour chart quickly. Okay. Yesterday, intraday, we stopped at 217.65. And today we broke that. And we pretty much went sideways. It's not that bad of a day. Yes, it's down almost 4%, but in terms of the pattern, this is not like it was going down all day. It came down first hour, second hour, and then it basically went sideways. Let's go back on the daily chart. So let's look at our indicators a little bit. We have stochastic at 2, extremely low. MACD is bearish. RSI is even oversold. So sometimes when the RSI is oversold below 30, we are going to bounce, but it's not necessarily that true. The same thing for the overbought signal. Right here, we were overbought in May 30th, and then Tesla continued to go up. It's not because something becomes oversold or becomes overbought that it is automatically going to turn around. This is just a nice indication that this was a really big move down to have an indicator like this to be oversold. So maybe what is going to happen is that we could still be bouncing on Monday. We have a little bit of a wick at the bottom right here. So this is telling us that Tesla was trying to go lower and lower, but then the buyers came back in and stopped us from going lower. We are seeing some buyers coming in, and also people will have time to digest what is happening this week with Tesla. They will have the whole weekend to start thinking about this, and we'll see what is going to happen on Monday. So right now we are into a downward channel right here. And you know what's supposed to happen within a downward channel. We are supposed to zigzag like this. If we break 212.28, we'll see what happens. Let's say that we bounce next week. Let's say that we bounce and we start going right here. This could be presenting us with a nice selling opportunity because we could be doing this eventually. Not everything is lost. We had a big drawdown, and this one was hard to predict. Then we need to wait for a pattern to form. The break below 212.28 is a pattern also. And if we start to go this way, then this is going to be another pattern that we can also use. We need to be patient. We need to observe. We don't want to be making any mistakes and entering all the time on the hunch, because this is not sustainable. Our money is precious. We don't want to waste it around. Let's take a look at some Tesla news. So here we have the Tesla shot a Tommy gun at a Cybertruck, and here's the result. we can see that the Cybertruck is bulletproof to some extent. And Elon mentioned that they emptied the entire drum magazine of a Tommy gun into the driver door, Al Capone style. No bullets penetrated into the passenger compartment. That's great. Cybertruck is built with an exterior shell made for ultimate durability and passenger protection, starting with a nearly impenetrable exoskeleton. Every component is designed for superior strength and endurance, from ultra hard 30 times cold rolled stainless steel structural skin to Tesla armor glass. So Elon and Tesla are still talking about the Cybertruck, but as Elon has mentioned on his earning calls, even if Tesla starts to sell the Cybertruck this fall, then it's going to take a while for it to ramp up significantly. Let's take a look at what happened to the VIX. The VIX is continuing higher. We are up 0.3, 1.4%. If this continues, of course, Tesla is going to go lower than 212. This is hinging a lot on the VIX. Not everything is on the VIX. There's a significant part of it. So we had a downward resistance right here, and this has been broken. This is now a support. And every single line, I don't do always the best job in updating all the colors. I wish this was automatic because this is a simple rule, but everything below the current close is a support. This seems like it wants to continue going higher and higher. US bonds are caving in a little bit, so this can help in the future. Let's take a look at our EV stocks. So Riviend is continuing its way down. We are aiming for the bottom of the downward channel. We could be going as low as 14.5 very easily. So let's wait until we bounce a little bit. We need to let this one drop. Xpeng is stabilizing. It's down 1.5%, but this is just below our support at 13.53. So technically, this is a break. But when it's a small break like this, I like to get another candle to see if it remains under. NIO continuing down 1.43%. Apple could not hold 173.82. So next up is going to be 170.58. After that, we could still bounce on 170.58. We could still bounce on it and stay here. But if we break that 170.58, then we could be expecting a lower move. If we break lower than 170.58 right here, so we can expect just a smaller move, because then we are going to have some support right here. So it's better if we want to short this one that it takes a little bit of a while for Apple to break that support. ARM is continuing lower. We are down almost 4%. Palantir down 5.56%. What can we say? We need to accept what is happening here. So we have lost stochastic, we have lost RSI, close to losing the MI. This was a nice run right here. We had the buy signal right here. I don't know if it's very clear, but we had a buy signal right here when we broke our big downward resistance that lasted a long time. We had a buy signal when we broke that one. And we had stochastic over 60. And in this case, I mentioned that 16 would be okay for me. Technically, we should have waited for a 16.9, because after a break of a downward resistance, we need to wait for a break of horizontal resistance. So the only horizontal resistance that was left was at 1690. So break at 1690 happened after the day. You could have bought the next day at 1762, and then it didn't stay there that much. It tried to bounce and then it came back down. So always have a tight stop loss at some point. It could be a manual one. It could be an automatic one. But basically, this was a very small move. Too bad they are not all big moves. I wish they were, but this is how it works. NVIDIA is coming close to 406.62. We'll see if it breaks it. Let's take a look at our indices. So Dow Jones keeps dropping, so at 0.86 down. S&P is getting close to 42.12. So maybe we are going to have a break of that horizontal resistance. And that could be a short right there. NASDAQ 100, I'm going to draw this support right here. We have support at 14,415. So we could be bouncing on it. If not, then we would be going lower. Gold, okay, gold is stabilizing a little bit. We had a big move, considered 1508, a buy signal right here. This is still in profit right now. We are seeing a little bit of sellers coming in. When you have a long wick at the top right here, it's the sellers that are pushing the price down. We have sellers there at 1541. There is no surprise there. This is a resistance that we had in the past. So technically, we are going to be due for a sideways move. So let's see what happens. If it breaks lower than 15, then it's gone. And if it's higher, then it continues. Silver up 1%. Silver is getting there. I'm waiting for 8. 8 is going to be the call. Of course, this is a very shallow, a very narrow bullish channel. As I always say, when we have a narrow bullish channel like this, it won't last a long time. It will break outside of it very soon. It will break outside of it and then it will bounce somewhere. It could bounce on this, it could bounce on this, it could bounce somewhere else. But when it bounces, then we are going to have a more longer term bullish trend, and then we can enter for a longer period of time. Bitcoin continuing its way up. It is still in its bullish channel. The bullish channel has started, in hindsight, September 12th, but after the second bounce right here, it was pretty clear that this was our bullish channel. So that's on September 28th. So from September 28th, we had our bullish channel, and now we are still in it. I saw a discussion in the comment section saying that all my lines are in hindsight. They aren't. I don't catch the beginning of the line because I don't know that there is a beginning before there is a beginning. But after the second bounce on the line, I know that this is a line. Ripple moving up also 0.37%. So cryptos are starting to come back. The big thing that we are going to take a look on Monday is, are we going to bounce? So Monday night at 5 o'clock, I'll do a video and we'll see if we are bouncing on this puppy or not. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you like what I do, you can become a YouTube member. Click on my TradingView affiliate link. I'm going to wish you a great weekend. We are going to talk on Monday, unless you are a member, in which case we are also going to talk on Sunday for Tesla Weekly Live. So have a great weekend, and I'm going to tell you à la prochaine.